Hello and welcome to Little Blue Star. I'm Jane Allen and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Thank you for joining me today. I've got a little sort of pop-up gift card holder card. So it's that way round. Decorate how you wish the front, and then it just sort of pops open and your gift card can slip into there. It makes a lovely little sort of pop-up different card. So I'm going to share that with you today. Okay, so first of all we want a base card of black. So let me just tell you, our normal cardstock is 8 1/4 sort of wide. So what I do is cut mine to 5 3/4. So you're left with that. And then obviously flip it round, and I score at 4 1/8. I know there's different ways of doing it, but that's how I do it. So it's 5 3/4 that way, and then I score at 4 1/8, and then you get a nice without wastage, because if you cut that side you might get a bit of wastage. So that's how I do it. So 5 3/4, and then I score at 4 1/8. So that's my base card. I'll give that a little burnish, give it a nice crisp edge. So that's our base card. And then what we need then is 2 pieces of DSP. Now in this designer series pack, I have gone for 'Tis the Season, and it's 6 by 6 inches, and you get a lovely variety of gorgeous papers, double-sided, and they're quite traditional colours. So that's what I've used today, and this is one of them. So this is like the holly, and then I'm going to cut that down to 5, so 5 inches, and then cut the other way at 4 inches, so 5 by 4, and then you want to keep that little bit because we're going to use that in a bit. And then staying on that 4-inch side, we are going to score at 1 3/4 inch, 2 3/4 inch, and 3 1/2 inches. There we go. And you want 2 of those, and I have already gone ahead and cut that and scored that. So then you go and you fold in all your lines and you go and burnish them. So just to give it a crisp edge, I'm just going to burnish those, folding them over. That's one. So you're going to be left with hopefully 2 sort of cuboidy pieces. So go ahead and burnish all those edges so they're nice and crisp, and then we're going to glue this the smaller end. We're going to glue, and then what you need to do is you just fold it like that way without getting my fingers in the way. Can you see what I've done there? So I've glued the little piece but folded it there, and then when you fold that bit over, it should match up nice and neatly, so you end up with a nice cuboid shape. And then I'm going to do the same there. So I'm going to glue that bit there, flip it over a little bit, and then match up the other side, and you get nice cuboid pieces. That's that so far. Then what you want to do is, can you see that sort of rectangle there? So the short end and the long end. So we're going to put the 2 long ends together and glue. Okay, so what you want to do, it's going to be glued into here in a second. So you just want to make sure you haven't got like can you see I've got that edge there? Not very neat. We don't really want to see that, so we're just going to make sure that's pointing down, and my edges are pointing down there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue on the edge here and on the edge here. Hopefully you can see that. So I've just gone along, not too far in, sort of ½ inch of glue, and then pop those together, and then just probably got a bit too much glue on there because it's all popping out, but we can fix that in a second. So I'm just going to hold that in place. So what I've just put my fingers into there, finger and thumb in there, and finger and thumb in there, holding it together so it glues. Okay, so that's what we need to do. So that's that bit there. Then we need 2 pieces of Whisper White, one for the front and one for the inside. And these measure 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 by 3 5/8. So 5 1/4 by 3 5/8. I'm going to go ahead and glue that in. Obviously you could decorate this as you wish, but I'm leaving it blank so I've got enough room to write on. And that's just going to go in the middle there, hopefully. Stick that in. And then we can then glue this in. So what we want to do is flip it over to the bottom, glue along there, glue along there, and then what you want to do is line it up with this crease, with this fold. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. So line it up with that crease, just get it in the middle of that, just so you've got a nice, hopefully you can see that. So I've just lined it up with my crease there, and then just eyeballed sort of in the middle of this piece of white. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of that glue there that I overused. Get rid of that because otherwise it's going to stick to the top. When I stuck those two together, hopefully that's okay now. Okay, so it's nice and stuck on at the bottom, and then what will happen is you will fold that over like so. Okay, so you get like a wiggly. Now obviously now we're going to attach it this side, so wiggle it over, and can you see this piece here? You can see where you want it to attach to. So when they're stood up, you want it attaching to that side. So what I'm going to do now is close it to make sure that it's on the right piece. Okay, and then when you open it up, it is in the right position. Okay, so there, and there's your pop-up design. Pretty simple. And what you can do then is pop your gift card into this area here, and it makes it nice and snug because you've just glued the ends here. That's why I said don't go much further in, because you need to make way for this gift card, but it fits snugly in there, can come in and out. All right, so that's the basics of this pop-up card, and then it's just jazzing it up how you like, really. So as I said, you could do some stamping here, you could write Merry Christmas there, but what I thought we could do is write a bit of Merry Christmas there. And like I said, I kept these sort of off cut when I cut this paper down, and there's enough there that I can use there. I've got an off cut of just Whisper White, and obviously you can cut it down, make it how you like. I'm just going to stamp, I'm going to use shaded spruce, and I'm going to get Merry Christmas from the stamp set Tag Buffet, which I am really loving at the moment, as you'll probably guess from all the other videos I've done. But this tag buffet, I think it's really versatile and you can use it quite a lot. So it's the Merry Christmas from there. And as I say, I'm going to use shaded spruce to go with the holly leaves on my DSP. I'm just checking to make sure it's covered with that ink, lining it up and then press down. You don't have to press really hard, you just nice and alright. So that's that ink. Get rid of that. And then as I say, it's your choice really, but I've got that off cut of that piece, and actually I think that looks pretty nice as is. But it's up to you, you can decorate how you like. I've just shown you the basic pop-up mechanism. If it is a mechanism, you know, it's just a... I just want to show you how easy it is. And that's that, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue that on to the inside of my card. Happy with that. Hope you can see that nice little, so it matches in with the DSP and then that little bit there. Okay, that's the inside done. Obviously you can stamp if you wish. And then for the outside, as I say, I've got my Whisper White there, and I'm going to use this holly stamp, which is from Joyful Holly stamp set, which again is one I'm using a lot. I'm using these outline ones quite a lot. There are the ones that fit in the middle with the colour, so obviously it's 2 steps, so you do the outside first and then you'd ink this one and it would match exactly. But I quite like the colouring, so if you don't want to use the you know, this stamp, you can just go ahead and you can go ahead and colour it in, or just use the outline stamp. Sorry, I was looking for my stamp set there, so I went a bit off piece. So I'm going to grab Old Olive for this one. You could use the shaded spruce, it really doesn't matter. And I'm going to go one, and when you ink it up you just lightly tap it, tap tap tap, and then I'm going to use one there, push that down, ink it up again, so tap tap tap, make sure it's all on there, and then I'm going to go that way. For there. Now there are two hollies, so you could have one going that way and then this one sort of coming down that way, so you could use both, but just for ease I've just used the same holly just to show you. Okay, so that's what Old Olive in that ink, and then I'm going to use the other offcut. So the other one, obviously we have 2 DSP sheets using that. So that was one offcut, this is another offcut, and I just thought you could use the opposite side, which in this case is the red, just to do a sentiment on the front. So that's what I'm going to do there. Now for that sentiment, I know I'm using a few stamp sets, but that's the joy of Stampin' Up, they all coordinate. I'm going to use this one here, so Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, because obviously I've got holly on the front there. I just thought it went nicely. So this is a rubber, the others are photopolymer that I use, so these ones are called photopolymer, you can see through. This is a rubber, you can't see through. You can get the stickers, but I haven't put them on, but obviously you can have the stickers that show you. This is just the Deck the Halls. I'm going to go with Memento, which is just the black. I've got a scrap of Whisper White here, so ink that up. Just making sure it's covered. And then, yeah, happy with that. And then I'm going to show you a little, well, not a little trick, but how I use this. Is the everyday label punch, and obviously some sentiments you get would fill this. You could use it so it is in the middle, but what I'm going to do is just chop it down a tad and use it. So that's the shape of the everyday label punch. And as I said, you can have sentiments that fit, and that would be a lovely punch out. You could use that, but I just want to show you how to cut it down. So if you grab a post-it or other branded sticky notes, I'm going to stick that on the edge there, and what that does is it allows me to pop it into the punch. And then what I want to do is just line it up. I'm just going to grab that up a minute because I can't see without getting my head in the way, and I'm just going to eyeball that so it's sort of okay. I'm happy with that. And then punch. Can you see what I've done? I've lined it up so it's roughly the same each side. Punch that out, and then you get a nice smaller label punch. And then that is obviously the bit that you can get rid of. You can reuse that post-it for another one. That's just a little handy hint there. And then what I'm going to do is glue that onto there, or you could pop it up with dimensionals if you wish. But as it's a pop-up card, I thought, well, I'll just leave this bit flat. So I'm just going to glue that onto there, and obviously that's way too long, so I'm just going to grab my trimmer. You can just cut it by eye with scissors. I'm just going to get my trimmer and then hopefully trim that down to roughly the same each side. Okay, happy with that. And then that is going to go onto there, and what I'm just going to show you is before I stick that on. Obviously this is just the outline, which is lovely as is. I'm just going to go ahead and woo my pen. I don't know where that went. I've lost it. Anyway, I've dropped it. It's gone somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and do the berries with my cherry cobbler, and then you can obviously colour in your leaves, or if you've got this stamp set you can use the this stamp to obviously stamp on top, and you'll get that nice colour inside. That's just plain. Here's an example of one with where I've coloured in the leaves as well. So again, I've just used my blends with Old Olive, I think, in that one. So that's coloured in leaves, or you can just leave it plain like I'm doing here. So I've just done the holly. No, I haven't. I've done the berries, sorry. Just the berries on this one. And then again, it's just eyeballing where you want it, and then gluing that on. I think it's quite a quick, simple, easy card to make again, but quite effective, this pop-up. And with Christmas coming up, I think you always get a lot of gift cards to give out, don't you? And it just makes it a nice little extra something. So as well as your Christmas card, if you're giving them a gift card present, you can go ahead and do that for the same, you know, in the same envelope. They've got their gift card and they've got their Christmas card all in one. And there's another one I did, so that's with sort of red variety. Okay, and then as I said, without the leaves coloured and then sort of with the leaves coloured. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed that. And again, if you want a catalogue or any Stampin' Up supplies, then just head to my online store or get in touch and I will send one out if you haven't already got a demonstrator. And I will see you next time. Thank you.